Oilers start their journey to the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. We'll find out tonight as I butcher that intro, Carmine. The Oilers trying to find their way back to the Stanley Cup Finals. They play the Dallas Stars in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. The Florida Panthers, they got the job done in Game 1 against Carolina. Will we see the rematch of last year? We'll find out in just probably about a week's time. But looking forward to Game 1 here as both teams are relatively rested. Both teams got through their series, Carm, and they are ready to rock here for the conference finals. Your opening thoughts here on this series. We've already broken down both series here, Carm, but how are you feeling as today's game approaches?
Andrew, you didn't really butcher that opening segment. The Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes, though, did butcher my under in that game. 3 goals in the first period, and yet I still had hope with about 5 minutes left. On to Game 2, in that series tomorrow. But Game 1, Western Conference Finals. The two teams, I think, at this point, we wanted to see. If you're Canadian, sure, you wanted to see Winnipeg and Edmonton, but I think these are the two best teams. Dallas just playing some lights out hockey and knocking off Colorado, and then Winnipeg and the Oilers doing it with a little bit of defense. Andrew, last couple of games doing it with defense. There are no calls for Stuart Skinner to win the Vezina Trophy or the Conn Smythe, but he is playing well. Guys, on today's show, just because Andrew and I, there's only one game today, so it's going to be a very quick show. But what we're going to do is, because we both have plays up on the game over at WagerTalk, we're going to talk a little bit about the game, but we're also going to throw out some pizza parlays. I will call them. Andrew will have the one with pineapple on it. He'll be the Hawaiian of this group. I'm going to be the meteor guy, the meat lovers pizza. Put all that Italian sausage and bacon and ham and pepperoni cups and crumble on there. Dan will drizzle some of that hot honey on there, and we'll call it a 3-team pizza parlay one. So anyways, with that said, Andrew, we discussed this series yesterday. Any thoughts after watching last night's game? I know that it shouldn't carry over, but you think Game 1 of these series that we see the teams not really in the feeling out process, but setting the tone for what's going to happen the rest of the series? Because the Florida Panthers sure set the tone. We are the champs. If you want to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. The Edmonton Oilers are in that position right now or also Dallas, that if you want to make it to the finals, you got to beat the team that was in the finals and won the Western Conference last season. Thoughts on that one?
Well, I mean, you could see like last night, the Florida Panthers, Carm, were zero. Well, they had all the confidence in the world, I guess I should say. They weren't lacking any confidence, that's for sure. So the Oilers have that going for themselves. They have the confidence going for themselves. And, I think that there's that experience level that can be there for them. And, the funny thing is, Carm, I've always been such a big advocate for how competitive the NHL can be. Through a full 82-game season, we're seeing plus 200 dogs hit here, a plus 250 hit here. I'll never forget that season that twice in 1 year, the Coyotes beat the Maple Leafs in one season as like plus 400 dogs. But at the end of the day, we had to be honest with ourselves as NHL fans right now and say, a lot of the favorites are winning the Stanley Cup each year over the past few years right now. And the funny thing is the NBA is moving into a different direction. They're probably the most competitive that they've been in years. And so you look at this league right now, Carm, and as much as we love taking long shots, as much as we love trying to pick, different teams from the outside, we got to look at teams that have been there, done that. And of course, Dallas, the hump they're trying to get over right now is the Western Conference Finals, but the hump the Oilers have to get over, the Stanley Cup Finals. So obviously, if Dallas gets there, it'll be the first time we've seen them in there for a while. But at the end of the day, the Oilers are trying to get back to the spot they were and get their revenge, whether it is on Florida or it ends up being on Carolina. So I do give them the edge as far as that's concerned. Don't get me wrong. Dallas has Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, a huge mix of players that are very, very experienced players. But I do think that it does help them out. The fact that they went 7 games in the Stanley Cup Finals last year, going down, what was it, Carm? 3-1 they went down, and then battling all the way back to force a Game 7. That gives them an edge, I think. They know what it takes come this one here. I'm going to ask you this. Do you think, because if we're being honest here, both teams aren't really coming off the most competitive series. Which team do you feel like that impacts the most? Because when you look at it, like, man, Winnipeg didn't win a single road game the entire postseason. Not one road game. It's not going to be like that, I don't think, in this series. One of the teams is going to win road games for sure. Potentially both teams could win road games. Which team do you think will hurt the most or benefit the most from the fact that they had a relatively easy series?
I don't know. It's a tough one because they both had very tough series in the opening rounds of the playoffs. But I think back to, I think it was last year where I think it was the Dallas Stars lose the opening 2 games, if I remember correctly, on home ice to the Vegas Golden Knights, and then come back in that series. Andrew, it's just one of those ones where I get the whole parity thing, and obviously the salary cap not having gone up during the pandemic and being held has sort of hindered some teams that were anticipating that the salary cap would continue to go up. It's not like MLB baseball where you can give a guy like Juan Soto, like Jeff Bezos money and then watch him underperform. The NHL is a lot different. When you're paying 3 or 4 guys a ton of money, you need them to the forefront. The thing about the Dallas Stars is they can roll out 3 lines, they can roll out 4 lines, and they've been effective this way. The Edmonton Oilers, at least in the last round, we saw when guys like Draisaitl aren't scoring, and you're keeping McDavid at bay, that Vegas did for the most part in keeping him to the outside and trying to harness his speed, something that the LA Kings couldn't do in the opening round. The second and third lines for the Edmonton Oilers did contribute, did score goals. Deeper teams are going to make it deeper. That's why the Panthers are where they are right now. They can roll out 4 lines, and you don't need Barkov scoring. You don't need Matthew Tkachuk scoring because the other guys are chipping in, the Verhaeghes, obviously Bennett, Reinhardt. So these are the guys that are scoring, and they're getting scoring from their defenses. So with that said, Andrew, this series is going to play. I think this series is going to play completely different than what we saw in the last round. The Oilers can go and win in Dallas. I don't doubt that for a second. And conversely, I think Dallas can easily go into Edmonton and steal wins. I don't think home ice is as big in this series as it's been in previous ones that we've seen thus far this season. So we'll in the playoff season. So with that said, Andrew, this one's a toss-up, and I think that's why we're seeing the -110 both ways to win the series.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good one. It should be a really good series. Both teams are bringing something a little bit different here. I feel like we say this in every series about the Oilers, Carm, but the wild card is Stuart Skinner. The wild card is the goaltending for the Edmonton Oilers, because I think every single radio analyst, everyone that talks about hockey, every sports bettor will tell you that they give Jake Ottinger the edge in goaltending. They give Dallas the edge there. I think superstars, obviously, we give it to the Oilers with McDavid and Draisaitl. Defense, well, I think the Oilers have proven back-to-back shutouts. Their defense has been pretty good. Depth, I'm not sure. Some nights it could be Dallas. Some nights it might be Edmonton. So we'll find out. We got lots of guys here in the live chat right now. Markinson, Vegas Rob. We got Ryan. Carmine's #1 fan is always in here. Willow, Michael saying good morning to us. Good morning to you as well, Michael. Question here from Aniko. I like the over 6, but I have a 20% odds booster I can apply. Question is, do I apply to the 6 for plus money or alt 5.5 and get it back to -115? Carm, some of the books that we use, we have those boosters as well. And you know what? Look, you can just stick to the regular numbers from what they are, but from where I'm sitting, you might as well benefit the most you can off that 20% odds boost. I would not blame somebody for getting it down to 5.5. Obviously, 4-2 is a relatively common score line in hockey. That will get you the win instead of the push. I mean, you're looking for a 4-3 or 5-2. You're looking for something a little bit more to get that victory. So if you are getting that 20% boost, if you're throwing some different picks together, Carmine and I are going to actually give out a same game parlay each. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't talk anybody off that 5.5. I know that might be a little bit against the grain, Carm, from the common opinion, but if they're getting the 20% boost, I won't argue with anybody taking that 5.5.
Yeah, that single goal from landing on obviously landing on 6 and you getting a push to landing on 6 and you getting the win. It's different if you're using your own money, but if you're getting a boost to drop the odds down, I would likely do that and take the 5.5. There are a lot of numbers that are common score lines in the playoffs where you'll see goalies getting pulled or chances where that over 5.5 can hit. Obviously 3-2, you get the empty net possibilities. 4-1, a score line that during the regular season you normally don't see coaches pulling their goalies down 4-1 unless your name is John Cooper. You don't see those 4-1 those teams. So it's such a terrible score line, and we've seen it over and over again. And we've discussed it during the regular season over and over that you don't get the chance at that empty net a lot of times with that 4-1. So in the playoffs, they will pull the goalie. It doesn't matter to them whether they lose 5-1, 6-1, but having the opportunity at 4-1, and I'm not saying that's what the scoreline is going to be tonight in the third period late, but knowing that the playoffs play out a lot different than the regular season, the 4-1 empty net goal can give you the win instead of a push. You're actually hoping to get the win instead of needing a goal just to get the push and get your money back. So that's probably a way of looking at it. The big Ys, minus 115 is not bad when you're looking at it at a total, especially dropping it a half a goal. You have to think of what a half a goal is worth. And a lot of the times it's got to be in that 25 to 30 cent range. So that's what you're looking at as far as this. I've seen some 6.5s. I think DK has 6.5 on this with plus money, plus 102, plus 103. Over there, you guys can, if you want to look at totals and you want to get a good idea of like the sharp books like Pinnacle, books like Circa, I would say, take advantage of that free 7 days that you can get at Odds Logic and look at the lines because you can see them moving. You can see where the action is throughout the day. 7 days free. I think I have it pinned on I'm pretty sure I have it pinned on my X account on my profile page. Just scan that code, get 7 days for free, and give it a try during the next 7 days and get a feel for it because football season is right around the corner as well too, Andrew. So
Definitely.
That was a long answer to a short question. So I wish you the best of luck with that odds boost, guys, and everybody in the chat. Hit that like button if you're on one of the social media platforms like the X or Instagram. Hit that heart button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know who you like tonight. Andrew and I got a couple of same game parlays for this one. Andrew, I'm going to let you go first. I'm not sure. I think we're contrarian on one pick. You and I are going mano a mano. I'm not sure if that is the thing or not, but let's see what you've got for the people today.
Well, Carm, the way it can work, so we're head-to-head on just one pick. So the way it can work is that people could play both and just hope that the only thing that we're different on is the first period total there. For me, we've got Zach Hyman over 2.5 shots on goal, 3+ shots on goal in tonight's opening game. Wyatt Johnston, at least 1 point in tonight's game. Evan Bouchard, look, guys, he's not much of a goal scorer from the point, but he gets a lot of assists, especially out there on the power play. Evan Bouchard assists and over 1.5 goals in the first period. We saw 3 goals in the first period in game 1, Hurricanes and Panthers. Game 1s overall this postseason have been very high scoring. We've seen game 2 slow down, and then maybe game 3 has been a mixed bag, but game 1s have been relatively high scoring. Now, we do have some data to back up these picks here. And this is just simply head-to-head, not recent trends, head-to-head here. Bouchard has 1 assist in 4 of his last 5 games against Dallas. Hyman has gone over 2.5 shots on goal in 7 straight games against Dallas. Wyatt Johnston has at least 1 point in 6 of his last 8 games played against the Edmonton Oilers. We are backing 3 players that do very well against their opponent in this series here, and also taking a look at the over 1.5 first period. Guys, ride with me on this. Plus 700 for 3 characters that do very, very well for us, 3 players to get the job done, and we're looking for goals early on in this one, goals in the first period. Carm, before I throw it to you, I'm going to say it was kind of funny when I was away in Montreal over the weekend. I was watching Game 7, and a couple of the guys I watched with were Leaf fans, and one guy, he called it an emotional hedge. So he loved this like same game parlay he had. So he made the same game parlay props, but he just made one with the Florida Panthers money line and one with the Leafs money line, so that he wouldn't be completely destroyed if it lost. And I sent you the ticket. It was unbelievable. He had like Max Domi to score a goal. He had Verhaeghe point, this shots on goal, everything. And so I could tell his mood swung because they're down like 4-1 or 3-0, whatever it might be. And he knew that his favorite team was about to get knocked out. And then when Domi scored, he started like absolutely freaking out. It was almost like he forgot for a second that his favorite team was getting kicked out of the playoffs because he just turned like $10 into $500. So that's the emotional hedge. And so for what we're about to show with you and I being head to head on one of these picks, you know what? If the only thing that we're wrong on, each of us, is the first period over, then guys could play both, and hopefully one of them hits.
One of them hits. Andrew, I got a quick, funny little story. So you talk about the emotional hedge. We have a guy in one of our WhatsApp groups, and this guy he's like the guy from Bronx Tale, Eddie Mush. This guy is a complete mush. If he's wearing the jersey of your team, you're going to lose. That team is going to lose that day. Let me tell you how bad it is. This happened years ago. We went to Fort Erie Racetrack, which is close to Buffalo, in Niagara, and this guy bets a 3-horse triactor. I think in the States they call it a trifecta. Andrew, no word of a lie. The gate opens, and one of his 3 horses throws its jockey right off out of the gate. The second horse that he has the lead at the top of the stretch, falls and dies on the track of a heart attack, they said. His other horse tripped over the horse that was at the top of the stretch on the ground. Neither of his 3 horses finished the race, Andrew. That is a mush. And that is a true story.
Holy crap.
The name of the horse, I still remember, that had the lead, was called Bobby London, Fort Erie Racetrack. That is a mush. None of his 3 horses finished the race. So awful. I sent him this same game parlay, but I gave him the opposite 3 picks to what I am giving you guys on today's show. So with that said, here is my ticket for tonight. Same game pizza parlay. No pineapple on this one. No mush, hopefully. I am taking Leon Draisaitl, anytime goal scorer. Plus, he's about plus 120. He's got 5 goals in the playoffs. He needs to have a big series for the Edmonton Oilers to win this series and make it to the Cup Finals. I am taking under 1.5 in the first period. I get it. When you're hoping for goals and points, why be a contrarian and take the under? Well, I'm taking the under because Dallas Stars are 4-3 at home to the under thus far in the playoffs. Edmonton Oilers are 4-2 to the under on the road this season. So basically 8-5 overall, a 62% win rate when taking unders involving either one of these teams thus far in the playoffs. And you look at the over-under, it's minus 130 and even money. So even money on the under. It is not one of those inflated first period ones. I think a slow start and a big finish in this game. And then finally, Connor McDavid, alternate points, 2 or more. He's got 17 points in 14 games. Taking those 3 will pay plus 575, Andrew.
I like it. I mean, the fact that it's 3 picks, 575, you got a goal scorer in there. You got McDavid, who's going to lead the way with 2 points. And people always say, like Andy Lang, who does these same game parlays, will tell us sometimes the contrarian ones to help boost those odds up, Carm, because you got guys to do well. You got a guy to get 2 points, a guy to score, and then you don't want much action in the first period. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but what I'm reading from Carmine is if he's right about the first period over, I think we all jump on the second period over because Carm's going to want goals or points somehow. If McDavid's going to get 2 points, Draisaitl's going to score. At some point, we're going to need some goals here at some point.
Yeah.
But Carm, let's cash these, men. I know we can't both win. I hope mine wins, but let's hope at least one of us can cash these same gamers, man.
Yeah, exactly. 2 out of 3 pays absolutely zippo. But what you can do is you can look at these 3 plays and say to yourself, do I want to play these ones separately and take them as single prop bets? Because each one of the ones that I gave you on mine, Draisaitl's like plus 120 anytime goal scorer. The under 1.5 is at even money. And Connor McDavid alternate points 2 or more is also plus money. So we're taking 3 props that are low plus money props, but I'm not laying any vig on them, and we're getting a decent price, 575. So you can play them separately. If 2 of the 3 hit, you're going to make money regardless. But I don't advocate parlays in general, Andrew. I think we all do them. It should be a very, very, very small percentage of your bankroll, because if you're sweating a parlay, or you get angry because you lost the parlay, then you've bet too much on that parlay. So, with that said, take every one you see, whether it's online or on the show, with a grain of salt. And remember, that's why I call it a pizza parlay, because you shouldn't be putting that much on it. Bet whatever a slice of pizza costs you, Andrew. So we'll see tonight. But to your point of the Oilers, you look at their previous games in the playoffs, Andrew, and it's been the third period where the Oilers seem to pile on the goals. I think at one point, 11 of their 15 goals were scored in the third period. I think that was against the LA Kings in the opening round. So we'll see if there's some scoring. Are there still books, Andrew, that will allow you to bet the third period over before the game has even started, like in under period bets?
You can do it. Yeah, for sure. And you'll most of the time get better odds. It obviously depends on how the game is going, but I mostly do that during elimination games, Carm, with the empty netter and stuff like that.
So, Andrew, I want to mention right off the not right off the top, but before we go, there's a great Memorial Day promo up at WagerTalk where you can get all plays, the summer celebration, all plays. It works out to about $5 a play over 98 days until Labor Day. Every single day, it works out to about $5 a day. And if you pick that up now, you get every single play free between now and the start of Memorial Day. So it's a great deal over at WagerTalk. No coupon needed. You can find it on everyone's page over at WagerTalk. So that's a great deal in itself as well, Andrew. So for me, Andrew, I'm going to make it quick. I have 1 play up. Well, it's actually 3 plays up. A play and a prop in today's Europa League final between Tottenham and Manchester United. A big 5% winner yesterday for anyone who followed along in my EPL play, which was the other Manchester City. I think that was, I call it a rocking chair winner. I'm just happy to win that one, 9-3 with 5% plays in soccer in 2025. And then in the NHL, I have a play and a couple props up as well too. So you can pick up that 1 day all access and pick up all 6 or 7 plays that are on my card for today, Andrew. What do you have going?
Carm, we hit the $5 play yesterday in MLB action. So on an 8-3 run now on the bases, plus 19 units. Guys, quietly, just slowly but surely picking up units on the bases every single day. Very low volume. I think number 5 now, Carm, out of like 30 handicappers at WagerTalk. So doing very well with it. We had the Yankees first 5. They got the shutout in that pitching matchup. So I'm excited about that. I've got 2 plays I like on the bases here today. If I add anything more, you can see it at my page. But I got 1 free play and then 1 4% best bet team total today at wagertalk.com. But that deal is fantastic, Carm. Get 90 days for a great, great price there. Jump on board with us. For myself, I'm going to have MLB, the rest of NHL, CFL, the full season, leading us all the way into NFL season. The summer is a great time to profit. I know people love betting during the regular year with, March Madness and all that good stuff, but there's a lot of money to be made in the summer. So I can't wait for it. Make sure you check out Carmine's plays today at WagerTalk. Same thing for myself. And guys, all of you guys in the live chat with us, we really do appreciate it. Hit the like button. It helps us out, helps the video get seen, helps us kind of get the word out about PuckTime with just 1 game a day. We're competing with all kinds of shows. We want you guys to help us out, make this one a great one. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time right here on PuckTime.